Welcome to Dropping In, a podcast of storytelling and interviews with your host, Winter Olympian Mercedes Nickel.
Thank you so much for dropping in today. In the world of high performance sports, injuries are inevitable, unfortunately. I mean, I've talked about mine, they happen kind of to everybody. So, this series 13, I drop in with 10 guests to uncover their injuries, what they went through, and then we also discuss their recovery and now what they do for wellness as well. So today is Wednesday, March 26, 2025, and I want to introduce the next guest that we will be dropping in with. Our next guest is no stranger to dropping in, having been a guest on episode 42. Starting in his athletic journey back in track and field, he excelled as a sprinter representing Team Canada. But his path took an exciting turn when he transitioned from running on a regular track to racing down an ice track as a bobsled athlete. This switch led him to become a three-time Olympian, pretty much one of my teammates for most of my Olympics, in the four-man bobsled at the 2010 Vancouver Games, the 2014 Sochi Olympics, and the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympic Games. His drive for excellence doesn't stop at sport. He holds a BA in physical education, majoring in sport performance and nutrition. He's also a registered massage therapist. His knowledge of body mechanics and recovery has not only helped him stay competitive, but has allowed him to guide and support other athletes throughout their careers. Beyond his athletic and academic achievements, he's deeply committed to giving back. He's used his platform to mentor young athletes, sharing insights on performance, mental toughness, and navigating the pressures of elite competition. This friend, registered massage therapist, three-time Olympian is back dropping in. I'm so excited to welcome Neville Wright. Neville, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see you.
You as well, too.
I'm trying to think of the last time we saw each other in person. It's been a while.
Yeah.
At some
Probably
event.
online. An event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe online. Yeah. Are you okay? You are no stranger to dropping in. Are you ready to hit up with the rapid fire so we get to know you a little bit more?
All right. Let's go.
Okay. Number one, what's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Stretch.
Stretch? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. No, I like that. Oh, I just had Candace Druin on, who's been game plan in the last episode, and I'm glad that was the first question I asked because that ended up like being one of the last questions that we got to in her interview, and I was like, "What does everyone do when they wake up in the morning?" So stretching is good. I like that. Not scrolling on your phone. I have a hard time with that
No.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Number two, what's the one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
A surprise to know about me? Man. I play bass guitar.
Rick, you are musical?
Yeah. I used to, play bass, sing a little bit, but that was like a while ago.
Wow. Okay,
Mhm,
very cool.
mhm.
Okay, now I wanna be like, do you have a karaoke song? Do you have a karaoke song that you go to? No? Okay.
No, not really, not really. Just
Okay.
whatever the feels good for me on the day.
Okay, in the moment. Nice.
Mhm.
Well, this is a fun follow-up question then. What's your favorite pump-up song before an event?
Ooh, man.
Oh, these
You
are
know
kinda
what?
hard.
I don't have like a pump up song per se. Like it's kind of like whatever's on the playlist,
Okay,
and then
yeah.
yeah.
Do you have a
Born to
specific playlist you're listening to right now? Like, do you
uh,
do, like, the Spotify and just, like, choose, or do you create your own playlist?
I create my own playlist. So like
Yeah.
a big like I'll have like hip hop. I do a bit of like gospel as well
Oh,
too. So yeah, it's just based on how I feel on the day. But
okay.
Born to Win by Papoose used to be like my theme song, like coming up
Okay.
when I was competing.
Born to Win.
Mhm.
Cool, very cool, I love that, okay. Number 4, if you could compete in any other Olympic sport, what would it be? Would it
I
be
would
summer?
say
Summer or winter? Summer or
I
winter?
think so. I tried to say I would love to have tried speed skating, but they said I'm
Oh,
way too big.
yeah.
So I think it would be probably being like maybe wrestling or like taekwondo
Oh,
or something. Yeah,
sick.
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't wanna go up against Erica.
yeah, yeah,
Erica Weeb, shout out.
yeah, yeah.
I've tried speed skating.
Mhm.
It's 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 a finesse. It's and I don't
Yes,
have it.
I do want to try it though. At some point, I'm gonna
You have
try
to.
it out. Yeah,
You
yeah.
totally have. I mean, you have it in Calgary, don't you?
It is in Calgary, so I'm gonna have to try and see who I can connect with to do it.
Dude, just hit up Gilmore or Denny.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Get at them or, like, just or call CBC, have Anastasia come by, and then
Mhm.
film it all.
I did one actually with curling.
Oh,
I've
did
done
you?
yeah with Joanne
Nice.
Courtney. Yeah,
I've never curled
yeah.
before. Was it hard?
For me, I felt like I needed a lot of core and like certain mobility, but they said curlies don't need core, so
Okay. My
yeah,
dad thinks they're the most fit people at the Olympics. That's a whole
yeah.
'nother story we can talk about. Number 5, what's the best advice you've ever received?
Um, do what you love. It's very
Okay.
simple. It was very simple. Just do what you love, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah.
Who told you that?
It was like an old actually it was like someone from my church when I was like kind of like lost and kind of trying to figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I was just like in limbo. And then it was just real simple. He's like, man, you should do what you love. And then I was
Yeah.
just like, I thought about it. I'm like, yeah. And then it just kind of led me through a whole different path of like
Cool.
sport performance and so forth. Yeah.
Did you love bobsled?
I love competing. I
Okay.
didn't love how it felt on the body and being in the cold, but I did love competing though.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
My friend Shannon from Game Plan was out here. She's like, "I'm going doing skeleton. I'll take you down the track." I'm like, "Mm-mm, the boy said I shouldn't go since I hit my head."
Yeah, yeah.
I take
My
your
show was
guys'
too big.
advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Number 6, if you could relive one moment from your athletic career, what would it be?
I guess it depends on the scenario, the situation.
Mm. Mhm.
I think my last year in track,
Okay.
I would relive that because I think knowing what I know now,
Yeah.
I think my approach would have been a lot different going to that year.
Okay.
Mhm.
How did that end for you?
So I ended up getting hurt that year. It was the Olympic year for summer,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then I got real sick, and then tried to bounce back. Just
Yeah.
missed an opportunity to qualify for the games, and then
Gutting.
and my body didn't recover until like after Olympic trials. Then I started to bounce back.
Dang it.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, people might not understand that, but, like, I do have to say it's so hard to qualify for the Olympics. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
have so many amazing people on here, but I don't think that I iterate that enough.
mm,
Like, oh, and it's so gut-wrenching. I'm sorry to hear
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Number 7, what's your go-to way to relax after a tough workout?
Okay, because I was gonna say after a tough workout, like right now, it's
Yeah.
working out if I need to relax.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, 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 yeah.
but outside of that, like really big into movies. So
Okay.
sometimes I'll just veg out on movies, or if
Ooh,
there's
like,
like a
what
really
kind
good
of
series.
movies?
I like like martial arts movies. I like
Yeah.
kind of like war movies,
Yeah.
like combat movies. I'm really big into combat movies,
Okay.
like John Wick, all those things like that. Like
Okay.
uh, me
Did you
against the
watch
world kind of thing.
Did you watch the new Roadhouse
Yes, is
with
that with
Jake Gyllenhaal? Jake
yes,
Gyllenhaal?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
I really like that too. Yeah.
that's, like, the first one that came to mind that I've watched that I would be like, "Oh, maybe Neville will watch that one."
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
I like that one. Okay, cool. Awesome. Um, if you okay, well, you've already kinda have a different career path, but while you were an athlete, like, did you foresee yourself becoming an RMT?
No, tell you the truth.
Okay.
I knew I was going. Tell you before, actually, massage. I thought about physio or chiro,
Okay.
uh, but for me, I didn't want to be locked away in school for so long
Yeah.
and miss all the opportunities. And
Mhm.
I chose a path of less resistance, I guess you would say, like
Yeah, that's
in regards to
understandable.
massage. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Number 9, we're almost there. What's your favorite place you've traveled to? I mean, you got to travel the world kind of
I
with
know, I
bobsled,
know.
but and went to, like, kind of peculiar places sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
you know what? Uh, Qatar.
Oh,
I was actually in Qatar for the World Cup
okay.
with Team Canada Soccer. So,
Right.
and then we went to Dubai as well. So I feel like that was probably one of the most exotic, like the furthest places like I've been to.
Okay, 2 places I've never been. I have a friend that lives in Qatar, and she's like, "Come
Yeah,
out for the football." And I was
yeah,
like I was going to, and then my friend and I were like, "Maybe now's not the time."
yeah,
Wild, very cool. I think that's super, also underrated is,
mm,
like, how many places, sport takes an athlete or a
yeah,
retired athlete as well. So
yeah.
cool.
I think outside of that, Thailand probably too.
I've never been. Okay, you're getting things on my list that I wanna go to now. I'm just a winter girl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, last one of the rapid fire that's never rapid. Thank you so much for dropping in on it. Who inspires you the most, inside or outside of sport?
So I keep getting asked this question,
Okay.
and my answer has always been that I don't have a particular person that inspires me. I get
Mhm.
inspired by individuals that are achieving different things in performance, mindset,
Yeah,
things like that. So it's not like one individual. Like, say for example, you even doing your podcast,
right.
that's inspiring to me because you're
Oh,
stepping out into a certain zone and doing
yeah,
something sometimes even not as comfortable to do.
yeah.
So I that's what it is for me. I don't have a one person in particular. It's
Yeah, I respect that.
individuals. Yeah.
I respect that. Sometimes, like, a tiny little human can inspire me. I'm like, "Damn, look at that little
Yeah.
kid go," you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Very, very cool. Alright, rapid fire done. You are used to it. You did great. Not the
Good.
easiest questions. Let's get into injuries from sport. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like, first of all, like, do you wanna start with your running career and then go into bobsled and just talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
your poor body your I mean, you have a strong body, but,
Mm.
like, it has to be strong because 'cause you've probably gone through a lot. Let's break that down.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been in sport for probably around 20 years. I could be
Mhm.
in a sport. I think my first major injury, like I've had like little injuries in track, but nothing that really kind of set me back until going to the Olympic year. So the year before, did
Mhm.
World Championships and World University Games. So I did the 100 World University Games, won a bronze medal, went over to
Yeah,
World Championships and did the relay with Canada.
yeah,
Then that year was like a really good year for me. I was making really good progress. And
yeah.
then going to the Summer Olympic year, pulled my hamstring, and I think I
Ugh.
put a lot of stress on myself because I really wanted to make these games.
Yeah,
And then there was like an accumulation of physical and mental stress, I think, getting
right.
wanting to get there.
Yeah,
And then I actually I feel I burnt myself out and I ended up with adrenal burnout.
yeah,
So adrenal burnout is just like a accumulation of physical and mental fatigue. So I was like slower. I lost a lot of strength.
yeah.
I was losing sleep, all those things.
Ugh.
And then I went to Olympic trials,
Mhm.
hoping for the best, and then just missed the chance to qualify. And
Yeah.
then my body bounced
Shut
back after that. Yeah, but
the
yeah.
opposite.
So
I'm like, "It shut down. You were
yeah,
depressed." No, it was
yeah,
like, "I'm back."
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so that was probably one of the start of like one of the roughest times for me, just because I sat home watching the games and
Like,
just of the
in,
thought,
like, a thriving body.
yeah, and just thinking,
No.
yeah, and just like the whole thought of I could have been there, and
Mhm.
so that was pretty challenging for me.
No doubt, no
Mm.
doubt. Okay, and then you make the decision at what point to like, did they source you for bobsled?
Yeah, so I actually went back back to the drawing board another 4 years for track.
Yeah.
And then I got approached. My coach actually was a speed and strength coach also for bobsleigh. And
Okay.
yeah, so they had asked me before, and I wasn't interested because I was doing track. And then just
Yeah.
said come out to this camp. And
Yeah.
then yeah, I came out, tested really well, and then made the team the Olympic year going to Vancouver. So I
Yeah.
made the team October and then went to the games that
In
February.
February.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a quick turnaround. Okay.
Yeah.
And then like you are going wicked fast on this track. What kind of injuries? I had Chris Springs on earlier. He talked about his wild injuries. What was the major thing that happened with you
The
with
biggest thing was my knees actually. I had coming going into bobsleigh, like my knees were okay. They weren't as bad, but then they just progressively got worse. And
Okay.
after Sochi,
Yeah.
I took 2 years off to try and
Yeah.
rehab myself, and yeah, that was rough because like I mean my knees were so bad, like I couldn't even walk up and down stairs properly. Like I'd have to go like walk sideways down the stairs. Hills were really hard to like walk. If I was going down the hill, I'd have
Yeah.
to like I'm changing directions, like going
Right.
forward, backwards on my side, lateral, just because
Yeah.
the load on it was so bad. It was hard to like start to squat. Sprinting became challenging as well too. So
What
yeah, I
was
had to
it?
take
What
to.
what is it about bobsled that gets your knees?
Well, I don't know if it was so much bobsleigh. I think it was
Gym time.
that I didn't take a break from track to bobsleigh.
Right, your body was like,
So
"What are you doing?"
I was going so pretty much from 2003 because
Mhm.
I say 2003 just because that's when I started to really get proper training. So from track, then the transition into bobsleigh. So at the time I've been going for 11 years, 11
Mhm.
years from that transition. So with no break, because with track, I would do the indoor season, then the
Mhm.
outdoor season, then you get like maybe a month off, and then you're right back to it. Same thing with bobsleigh. So I was just going, and then
Back to
I think
back.
it's just an accumulation of load. Even though
Mhm.
I was utilizing like practitioners, but it's just accumulation of load, and I feel like that door of irritability in my knees opened up, and then
Mhm.
I couldn't close it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you took 2 years off to what did you do in those 2 years?
So my first year of trying to rehab it, I feel like the support wasn't that great for me.
Yeah,
I
I
went to
hear
different
you.
practitioners. I went to orthopedic surgeons, and there's some that were saying that they wanted to go in there and do a scope. There was some
Yep.
that one told me, which was the craziest thing, is like, why don't you stop training? I was like, what do you mean
Mm.
stop training? Like, can you just stop? I'm like, this is my career. Like, this is what I do. So stopping is an option. Like, is there any other alternatives? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I went around trying to find different individuals and couldn't find the support. So
Yeah.
then in my hometown, I had a support system there. So when they say like it takes a village.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can go to one or two practitioners that can help, but I went to multiple practitioners where I finally found the right uh, team of
Yeah.
individuals. So like, I went to one physio that suggested some exercise because they said that they didn't think I had I was told by an orthopedic surgeon that I had degenerative osteoarthritis. And
Epic. Great.
I'm like, and I was like, that wasn't acceptable for me. So I went and,
Yep.
sought some other advice.
Is
And
everyone listening to this? Because I
yeah,
think this is like we can't just dive over that. You're like, "That person said this. I
mm,
didn't believe it." I did
yes,
you do this all on your own? Like, you
I
went and
did.
found different doctors? Okay.
Yes.
Our lines are very, similar in this
Yeah.
sense of our recoveries, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you saying this because, yeah, it's okay to get a second or a 10th opinion.
Yeah, I think especially if you feel like something's not right, I
Yeah.
suggest to anyone that's even listening right now, like don't just accept one advice. Try and see if you can get
Yeah.
multiple advice because different practitioners have different perspectives and different
Mhm.
thoughts. What really helped me is that I was a very conscious individual when I was getting treatment, therapy, doing my recovery. So like even when I was getting treatment myself, I was very
Mhm.
present on the table,
Right.
asking questions,
Yes.
what the treatments they're doing. I experimented a lot, tried different things. Like I tried so many different modalities
Yeah.
and practitioners. So then I finally found the right fit.
Yeah.
And
What was the right fit for you? What was the it might not
so
be
the
the right
right
fit
fit,
for anyone else, but
yeah.
it's for you. It's your
So
body. Everybody's
and that's
different.
yes, and that's the thing. Everyone is different. So I always suggest like my advice would always be try out different practitioners,
Yeah.
see what works best for you. So
Yeah.
mine was a combination of a few things.
Okay.
I found one physio who provided some exercises along with like my coach and then myself. We'd have like this discussion,
Yeah.
open communication of what I should do. So I did. So I had the rehab part down, and the
Yeah.
rehab part was pretty hard too. Like one of the biggest things I did was tendon loading, where I was doing
That sounds awful. I don't even know what that
yeah.
means.
So pretty much I have I'm in a squat rack.
Yeah.
I have a box that puts me at about 90 or just above 90 degrees.
Okay.
I had to do at a tempo where I had the bar on,
Yeah.
5 second tempo down, touch the box, but then I don't fully extend. So I keep loaded in that quad
Dude.
and then back
How
down. I
much
was
weight?
doing, so here's a crazy thing. It was just the bar. I was
Yeah.
doing 4 to 5 sets of 15 to 20 reps. So
Ooh.
here's this big old guy in the gym
With
doing
1
these,
bar.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
with a bar, sometimes like a 25 on, sweating
Yes.
and like struggling. And I'm like, everyone's probably like, man, what is going on with this guy here?
Yeah,
And
but you're
then,
doing, like, some of the hardest movement ever.
yeah, so it's like I
Oh
kept
my
loaded with
gosh.
that. And then, so I had another specialist that also did some prolotherapy. So
Oh,
just a
yeah,
little bit
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
context. So I did PRP on my
Yep.
knees. Like I said, different modalities,
Didn't
different treatments
yeah,
work for different people. I
and that one
had
didn't work.
no, and I had double digits in both knees. And it was like, so I stopped that, but I ended up getting another treatment, prolotherapy,
Yeah.
which is like a glucose injection in my knees.
Yeah,
So I had a series of that. Plus, I
and
did
that worked?
so everything. It wasn't on its own. It worked. It had to be in in a like
In
together,
conjun yeah.
complemented with other modalities.
Okay.
So then I had my chiro who
Yeah.
did like ART Graston was treating me like we went really pretty aggressive
What's
with the
ART?
treatments, active release treatment.
Oh, love
So
that.
no, it's like
Thank
when they
you.
pin it and then you do a
Yeah.
movement. So I was doing
Yes.
that. And then I experimented. The great thing with my practitioner, it was that I was able to communicate and experiment with them. So I was like, you know what? When I squat or when I contract my quad, my knees hurt. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
could you try treating while I'm doing the movements as well? So they would do like Graston, for example, which is the myofascial tool.
Yeah.
Uh, like I'll show you. I actually have a Graston tool
Oh
here.
god, is it metal? It's
Yes.
metal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a
So
piece of
so
metal
they
that
would
looks like a bird's wing.
yeah. So while I'm squatting,
Yeah,
they're doing that or contracting
they're
my
rubbing
quad,
that up and down.
and
Okay.
I felt more relief. So we are doing that plus the exercises, and then
Yeah.
just I get soft tissue work to my quads. And as I started doing it, I felt like I started getting stronger and stronger. By the time
Right.
I returned back, my knees were like night and
The
day difference.
happiest. You
Yeah.
did not have arthritis in those
No,
knees.
no.
You had
Because
tight ass muscles around your
yeah,
knee.
because that's the thing. That's where it came to me where I was like, okay, well, this doesn't make sense because when I got certain treatment, it
Yeah.
provided relief. If I had
Yeah.
osteoarthritis, and it's
There would be
degenerative,
no relief.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. Ay. This is, like, so aligned with mine because you said they said I should get a scope. I got a
Mm,
scope. They were like,
yeah,
"You have the knee of a 20-year-old," and I was
yeah,
34. I was like, "Okay." And it was tight muscles.
yeah.
Oh, this is so yeah, I love this. I love this
And
journey.
also, it's good to talk to other athletes who have had issues
Mhm.
because I remember I talked to another athlete who said they had their knee scoped, and they
Mhm.
said, and like I said, different things for different individuals,
Mhm.
but they said it was the worst thing that they ever did because it made their knees even worse. Like and it was hard to
Right.
recover from that. So
Right.
not to say, and I don't want to throw a bias and say don't ever do that because of this,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for
yeah.
me, I was like, you know what? What other alternatives are there versus like
Totally.
surgery or something along those lines. So
100%. And I agree.
yeah.
Like I got my scope, but I was still concussed. So I
Mhm.
actually asked for an epidural. Got my first epidural, Neville.
Yeah.
Um and because I didn't want to be put out because my head was still bad. And
Mhm.
they were like in there and they're like, you have the knee of a 20-year-old. I'm like, get out then. Like, just get
Yeah.
out as
Yeah.
fast as
Yeah.
possible. So I don't know if that had anything to do with my recovery, but my recovery was quite quick and easy from
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
which
Mhm.
hasn't really messed up, knock on wood, messed up my
Yeah.
knee
Yeah.
since then, and then I ended up yeah, that was after Sochi too. Oh, Sochi, good times.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have, like, a new set of knees because
Mhm.
you've gone through PRP didn't work, you did tendon loading, prolotherapy, chiro, active release, and is it called grafting?
Graston,
Graston.
or the term they'll use is instrument assisted soft tissue manipulation, IASTM.
IASTM.
Mm.
I don't like acronyms, but I like
Yeah.
that you just said what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, you went to your 3rd Olympics, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And then any other, injuries that you went through with, sports?
I had man, so thing is,
You
I always
forget
said
because
that
there's so
sport.
many?
Well, yeah, the one thing is sports, sport is good to you, but then also sometimes there's residual repercussions, from
Yes.
sport. So like I had issues I've had with my shoulder issues where
Yeah.
I had bone on bone grinding.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
yes, which where I couldn't bench for a bit. Uh, I know what, I'll just give you a list of some things. I've had a tear in my
Yeah.
lateral delt at
Yeah.
the insertion,
Okay.
and so I couldn't sprint from a little tear
Right, because
here.
you need your arms.
Yeah, so I struggled for almost for like 6 months
No.
with that because I couldn't, it wouldn't heal. So that took a bit. So I had to actually change my running mechanics until I was able to actually do that. I
Yeah.
had bulging disc in my lower back, L5 S1, which I had to do tons of rehab for. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I had
It's
quite a bit of different things in
that
my body.
you're like, I know, like, if I was to go head to toe, I'm sure I'd forget a lot of
Mm,
things that happened.
mm, yeah.
It's wild. Okay, what, like, motivated you to want to get better? Like, was it the passion to get back to the Olympics? Was it just a drive to be healthy? What was it?
I think it was the challenge of, so as much as I love competing against other individuals, I think the
Mhm.
challenge of competing against myself, like pushing pushing myself where I won't accept limitations, was a big thing for
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
So it was like, all right, here's another challenge. They say it'll take this long to get back, or they say, maybe you might be done, where I'm like, nope. So that's what really pushed me. So even part of my rehab when I was doing, for example, with my knees,
Yeah.
one of the things I was doing like a lot of banding work and
Yeah.
loading. And
Yeah.
like one of the things that really sucked, but it helped, is I was doing and like I said again, different things for different individuals. I
Mhm.
was working on, for example, glute activation, so I wasn't loading so much of my knees. And one of the exercises which really sucked, probably more than the tendon loading, was I was doing like a lateral banded walks,
Yeah.
like monster walks,
Yeah.
where you have to band around your feet and then you go lateral. I was
Mhm.
doing that so I did most of my training on turf just
Mhm.
because it was a softer surface. And I remember going from the sideline to the middle of the field and back and forth, doing reps of those.
Yeah.
And I felt like doing some of that activation work actually helped quite a bit as well too. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I was always prepared to put in the work and do whatever it takes so I can get back to high performance.
I appreciate that. And also the fact there's like a theme here. If people say you can't do it, you try
Mhm.
harder.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's such a wild thing. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
this drive ingrained in us. Oh, sorry,
yeah.
you're saying no? I'm saying yes, I will and I
Yes,
can.
and that actually motivated me more. Every time I was told no or told I couldn't do
Mhm.
something, or that just motivated me more. And I think the biggest thing for me as I got later in my career, it
Mhm.
wasn't so much about the grind then because I was already strong.
Yeah.
I had speed. So then it went from quantity, even though it wasn't a whole lot of volume, to more quality movement and tons of
Yeah.
recovery. I put very a lot of emphasis on recovery. So like, proper activation, mobility, warm up before my workout. After my
Yeah.
workout, I was spending like an hour or more on doing rehab exercises, doing
Mhm.
recovery, rolling, stretching, activation, things like that.
Totally, and that's so interesting because my teammate Justin Lamoureux, when we were on the road and,
Hmm,
I was a little bit younger, and I'd watch him, like, wake up in the morning and he would stretch. He'd get home
hmm,
from snowboarding and he would stretch, and I was like, my warm up is doing a run down the hill." So, like, all of the kids that are listening to this are probably like, "Yeah, whatever."
hmm,
When you get older, let me tell you, you
hmm.
need all of these things in your life because now I do them
Yeah,
religiously
yeah,
as well. So,
yeah.
it is and we listen to you. The first thing I asked you, "What did you do up in wake up in the morning?" "I stretch."
Hmm, yeah.
I respect that so much. Very, very cool. What would you say is your wellness practice now?
Biggest thing for me now. So I still am in the gym, and like I
Mhm.
start adding other components to my workout because before it was always linear movement,
Mhm.
speed and power, but now I'm adding in like muscular endurance and
Okay.
some cardiovascular components.
Yeah.
So I stay actually relatively fit. I find that I have to, for example, go to the gym now. Like I have to keep that routine, even though I'm not
Yeah.
competing anymore.
Mhm.
But I felt that that helped me a lot for my mental health and well-being.
Mhm.
During COVID was a really big thing. COVID, like a lot of people struggled during COVID, and I
Mm.
remember I was stressed out because all my revenue streams had shut down. Like I
Right.
wasn't doing speaking engagements.
Yep.
I couldn't go out to speaking engagements, so a lot of them got canceled. I couldn't
Yeah.
do therapy, and couldn't do coaching.
Mhm.
And then gyms weren't really functioning. But I was fortunate enough to have like actually a really good gym setup at
Mhm.
my house. So when I first started
If you're
competing,
watching this, I can see your barbell
my
behind
squat, yeah,
you.
squat, yeah. I have a whole system of weights, squat racks, medicine balls, trap bar. I have all these weights.
Yes.
Recovery. I have like a bunch of foam rollers, all these
Yes.
things. So I did that when I was competing. I remember trying to go into a gym, and sometimes like there'd be holidays or it'd be closed. So I didn't want
Mhm.
anything to actually interfere with my training.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I set myself up with like a gym. So during COVID, I remember I was so stressed, and then I felt myself actually getting to the point of where I was like, man, am I starting to get depressed?
Yeah.
So, and I was kind of on and off with the working out, but not consistent. And I remember I was like, I need to get back on track. So I got a
Yeah.
program for myself. I went down to my gym, and I remember
Mhm.
it was like 6 in the evening,
Yeah.
and I just started lifting. I was listening to music. I'm lifting. I was like, I did a full warm up. I'm doing mobility. I'm doing activation. I'm lifting, and I'm going hard. And all of a sudden, I'm like, man, what time is it? I look at my watch, and it was after 11.
Oh my
I, I've been
gosh.
I was working out for like 5 hours.
You're in your happy place and didn't even
Yeah,
know it.
but then the crazy thing is, I was like, oh man, I need to get to bed. So then when I wake up in the morning, all
Yeah.
of a sudden I woke up. I had so much clarity. I had focus.
Yeah.
I had some tasks that I need to do. I was getting through those tasks easier. I had
Mhm.
more, yeah, just clarity and focus. And
Totally.
I realized how important it was to have a routine, have me doing workouts.
Yeah.
Eventually I started getting back and doing sprinting and doing other things,
Mhm.
and movement. I just
Mm.
realized how important movement was for your overall health and mental health, physical health, your overall well-being.
Totally, totally, I agree, and I need it told to me, and I think if I need it told to me, everyone needs it told to me and
Mhm,
reminded to
mhm,
get outside or get to the gym and start moving because it is
mhm.
important, and it's so easy to fall into that, like, depression of, why do I get up in the morning?" You
Yeah.
know?
It's the
So I
best
think
medicine.
it is,
Yeah.
and I forget about it sometimes, like, I'll have,
Mhm.
like, a week where I'm like, "What's wrong with me?" And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't really gone to the gym, I haven't
Yeah.
really." I mean, for me, snowboarding is not a workout,
Yeah.
in the winter, so, like, I can't really count that as I get that, like, soulful getting outside, but I need
Mhm,
more.
mhm.
So I think that reminder is always so important. Um, so would you say this is, like, all self-motivated, or is anyone there helping you figure all of this out along the way?
Self-motivated. I
Mm,
feel like as an athlete, I had a really high level of intrinsic motivation,
yeah.
and yeah, I'm very, very competitive. So it's always a challenge for me. Whereas like, okay, get stronger, uh,
Mhm.
build up my durability. Almost like put it this way, I'm a big fan of superheroes.
Okay.
So like I'm like, man, I gotta get my Batman on, kind of, or like
Yeah.
so I'm doing things to really build up my body. So yeah, and I actually create programs for myself
Yeah.
and structure it in a way so then I have something to follow. I might not
Mhm.
train like how I was when I was competing, but I have
Thank
something
God.
structured.
Thank
And then
God you'd be
I know,
even
but
bigger.
yeah. So I make sure that I have a routine to
Yeah.
follow and try to be as consistent as possible.
Okay, so what would be your advice for people out there that, like, may not have been an athlete? Like, this is one thing that I come across is, like, I have this great app that I use for my
Mhm,
workouts. Again, that is self-motivated. Some people have to go to the gym. But then if, like, people are trying to work out, like because you're now on the other side of it, RMT
mhm.
and coaching and stuff like that. For, like, yeah, non-athletes, what's your advice?
I would say is, obviously experiment and explore with different things. Some people are
Mhm.
good with doing things on their own.
Mhm.
Some needed like an accountability partner. I think that's really good, especially if you find that you struggle with motivation.
Mhm.
Having two or three other accountability partners, whether you work out together or you're working out separately, but like checking in,
Yeah.
having something structured, and whether it be structured as a program you follow or structured as in this is my time where I'm committing to myself of
Mhm.
wellness. So whether it be
Mhm.
in the gym, whether it be some type of recreational activity, whether it be even just to go for a walk, but I think having some form of activity, whether
Yeah.
it be um high level activity, whether it be active recovery or something along those lines, I think
Mhm.
having something daily is important. And then on your rest day, like, self care. So whether it be, going for a massage, I think, a lot of people neglect or don't realize the power of actually getting some self care,
Mhm.
physio, chiro, massage. Even if you're like, I feel okay, it's still good to do some type of maintenance work or something
Yeah.
along the lines, and then to improve your efficiency and
Yeah,
durability.
because a lot of the time, sometimes our bodies, we just, align in a way that then our bodies get used to it, but actually
Mhm,
something's off.
mhm,
So then I think that's really important. Even if you feel
yeah,
like you're not hurting, it's always nice to have that care. And
yeah.
if you have benefits, get out there.
100%. I encourage people all the time. If you have
Yeah.
benefits, don't let it sit there and just wait. Use it. Like,
No.
well, I feel great. Okay, guess what? You'll feel even better maybe if you get like a
Yeah,
massage or,
totally.
something's nagging a little bit. Use those different resources out there.
I like that advice of
Mm,
taking that personal time for yourself, even if you have to put it in your calendar. I think that's really important, and, like,
yeah.
maybe it's once a month you go out and take that personal time, and
Mhm,
it's a hands-on experience,
mhm,
like massage or osteo or, acupuncture. I think there's so many benefits to things that are out there.
yeah.
Neville,
Mm,
I love dropping in with you. Do you have
yeah, yeah.
anything else you wanna share? I mean, we did cover, injuries, recovery, and your wellness, but if
Mm.
there's did I miss anything in there?
The biggest thing I would say,
Mhm,
and this is advice I said told myself, and I say to other people, where it's easy to get really busy with
mhm.
work, with life, and neglect yourself in the process.
Yeah.
Make sure that self care for yourself is a non negotiable. Where, regardless of whatever you have going on, whether it be 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever, make sure you have a set time, block it off. Whereas, like, this is my time, this is for
Mhm.
me. I don't care what's going on. I understand, yeah, you get busy stuff, but like, this is my time where I have to do some type of self care because it doesn't make sense that you're out there grinding, not taking care of yourself, and then all of a sudden, now you're spending all this other time trying to fix yourself because you never took the time to
Mm.
prioritize your health and yeah and well-being.
I totally agree. I've taken to, my goal this year, Neville, is to
Mm.
read 100 books this year. This is the
Yeah.
first time I've said it publicly
Yeah.
and not
Okay.
to my friends. 100 books, and I have figured out a way to go on the treadmill because it's snowy here in Whistler in the winter,
Mm.
to go
Mm.
on the treadmill and be able to read my book at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm a multitasker getting in my time, and there's lots of different, like, ways to do things, that you love. It may not be in the gym, but
Mm.
getting outside and moving that body. So super great advice.
Yeah.
I really appreciate just gonna do, like, some takeaways here. I love your morning routine of stretching. I want to hear you play the guitar because I did not know that about
Yeah.
you at all. I've got a new list of places to go in the world: Qatar,
Yeah.
Thailand. I know I need to go to those places. And then I just think learning about your injuries that I didn't know, because I
Mm.
think that along the way, I wish we had chatted, like, at the Olympics and been like,
Mm.
"I'm going through this," but at the time, you don't have it. So, to
Mhm.
share this information with the other athletes, these are the injuries. This is the protocol that all of us go through,
Yeah.
doctors, but also being okay with saying, "I don't believe you. I'm gonna go talk to someone else. Like, I know
Mm.
my body better than anyone."
Mhm.
Um, and then again, it sounds similar to my journey. Like, you probably worked with 14 different doctors to
Mm.
help you get your knees better, which just I'm so proud of you
Yeah.
for in a sense being relentless
Mm.
for your recovery and your self-motivation and drive and passion to get back to sport,
Mm.
because that's what's important to you. And your advice, man, you got good advice out there. I hope everyone had a great time listening to you. Where can people find you online? And where can they come get a massage from you if they want to?
Yeah. So online, at nwright021. That's on my Instagram.
Mhm.
I have another one for my therapy, which I'm not as active, but I'm gonna get better on. Is at Right PTYAG. So
Okay.
Right Performance and Therapy. I got my website there, and I actually have some big things working towards coming up soon. I've been doing some teaching recovery, ball and foam, hot ball and foam rolling. So I go in a hot yoga studio, and I
Oh,
teach how to ball and foam roll to injuries. So
amazing.
bottom up, but yeah, those are kind of the main places you can find me.
Awesome. Neville, thank you so much for dropping in today. Always a
No
pleasure to
problem.
have you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for dropping in today. You can find everything you want to know about Dropping In with Mercedes at droppinginwithmercedes.com. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks, DJ Kenosis, for the music, and my mom for the intro voice.